The Botanical Gardens cover 40 hectares, stretching over gently insulating hills along the northern shores of Lake Victoria. The 1.5-kilometer shoreline presents a breathtaking scenery. The 120-year-old site consists of a natural forest with indigenous flora and fauna, which is why the National Agricultural Research Organization uses it to promote knowledge and appreciation of plants for scientific research, education, awareness, and recreation purposes.
Where we are right now is the Medicinal block. So this block was designated specifically to conserve our medicinal plants, herbal medicine. You know, in Uganda and Africa as a whole, about 75% of the population depend on herbal medicine for primary health care. So this is one of the centers that we thought if we conserve our indigenous plants of medicine, we could be able to show our younger generation what we depend on.
This block harbors more than 200 documented plant species of herbal medicine.
And one of them is this one, this particular one we are standing near. This is Mwesigye ugandensis. Mwesigye ugandensis, it is a native tree plant in East Africa, you may say. And this is a plant where it has a component in the Covidex medicine. Yeah. But it has so many uses in medicine. It is antibacterial, it is antifungal, it is antimicrobial, it is anti-inflammatory, name them. Yeah. So you use both the bark, the leaves, the roots, every part of this plant is medicinal.
NARO is developing planting materials for many of the species, especially the endangered ones.
We had an activity based on 3 medicinal plants. This is Mwesigye ugandensis, Sorospermum febrifugium, that is Kanzironziro, and then Mulondo, which is Mondia witai. Those are 3 threatened species basically in the wild, and they are very, very important in medicine in the country. We talked about Covidex, we've talked about Mulondo. When you get to the streets in Kampala or any other Kampala streets, you will see young boys carrying these things and selling them, but you've never heard of maybe a farm of Mulondo anywhere.
A walk around also shows the gigantic trees buttressed in the ground, climbing plants with spider cobwebs running across, making for a total natural ecosystem coexistence. The microclimate here has made it habitable for birds, another tourist attraction.
We have over 480 bird species. So this is a spot for the bird lovers in the country and internationally.
And because of its thick canopy, then, part of the Hollywood movie Tarzan was filmed here in 1954. There is a stream from within the forest that flows back into Lake Victoria.
We have a collection of wild rice. Wild rice, it has some traits of resistance to the yellow mottle rice disease on the domesticated rice. So there's a study that can be undertaken to develop resistant yellow mottle rice disease from this wild species. There are over 100 plant species in this forest, which are documented. But of course we have the smaller plants which we have not documented them. So there are many more than 100 species.
However, in February 2022, a massive storm and earthquake caused serious destruction to the forest. But NARO has since embarked on a tree planting campaign to restore its shape.
Had it not been for the Entebbe Botanical Garden trees, the whole of Entebbe city would have suffered severe destruction because of that storm. Where we planted over 500 trees on that day.
Apart from the gardens, the National Agricultural Research Organization introduced the National Gene Bank in 2004 to conserve for longer other species of plants from across the country. However, this bank has now reached its maximum capacity and can no longer handle new species.
This gene bank, the Uganda National Gene Bank and the Botanical Gardens have collectively conserved or secured just 11.15% of Uganda's plant genetic diversity.
The bank is hosted in a dilapidated structure that is no longer safe for the existing stored materials. We also learned that the bank received some funding last year for renovation, but now refurbishment hasn't happened as the structure is too old. The bank, together with the gardens, suffer a funding challenge. Both facilities receive a paltry monthly funding of 5 and 8 million respectively. This money is meant to cater for maintenance, payment for workers, utilities, fuel, among others.
Unveiling the potential within our indigenous fruit species, plant fruit species. I mean, there are trees, you will not study them for a season, and you need several seasons to fully understand the potential. You need multi-locational studies to unveil the characteristics and adaptable characteristics. So we need long-term intentional funding.
Most of the species of plants and crops that cannot be stored safely in the gene bank are brought over to the Botanical Gardens and they are grown there. These majorly include fruits and medicinal plants. Now, the handover of this place to be used as a potential tourist site is a welcome development. But the scientists here have a little bit of worry on how this place will remain preserved as a place for continuous research.
We as Ugandans are not worried about the transfer or anything, but it's about us ensuring that the precious resources held here and the ongoing research and the potential of these resources to support future research and development is not compromised.
Last week, Prime Minister Robinah Nabbanja directed the Uganda Wildlife Education Conservation Center, UWEC, to take over the management of the Entebbe Botanical Gardens from the National Agricultural Research Organization, NARO, with immediate effect to promote tourism of Ugandan flora. Walter Mwesigye, NTV.